We are back.
Hello!
We are, still doing the thing, obviously, as you can tell from the backdrop.
You move your head ever so slightly.
And the cat. There she is.
That look epitomizes how we feel right now. It was better when she was looking at the camera, but she's camera shy apparently.
Oh no, she's just angry at the back of my head, obviously. Anyway, we're back in the saddle for recording. We are looking at RWBY Volume 4, World of Remnant, Faunus. So this should be interesting.
Ooh! Are we finally going to get some rules?
Maybe!
It would be so great.
And for those of you wondering where the footage is for the previous World of Remnant reaction, they don't put those on YouTube. And if they don't put those on YouTube, I have a hell of a time grabbing the footage. So if the video doesn't go up on YouTube, we don't get footage in the reaction. So if they don't put this World of Remnant on YouTube either, then there won't be a video here. Here-ish area. Yeah, so at the time of this recording, it is obviously sponsor time, so who even knows? And we'll see.
I'm sure they'll put them all up at the end of the season, if nothing else, because they released the special, you know, the 4-parter at the very beginning of the season. So I am
not going to go back and re-render that many videos.
Of course not.
That's not happening.
It's irrelevant by that point.
Yeah, so we're going to do this. Let's do this. Let's go. Bam.
Come on, answers.
Yeah, God, hopefully.
World building.
Well, it's not loaded completely, so if it stops in the middle, you'll know why.
It's called world building. So
you're going to live on that joke, aren't you?
It's so much fun to say.
Yeah,
get caught up on DBZ
Abridged.
a
lot of time talking about mankind versus Grimm, but technically there is a third party in the mix.
Technically?
The Faunus. In case you're not in the know, the Faunus are a species on Remnant that appear to be human in just about every way. Every way but one. Each Faunus has a single animalistic trait. Some more apparent than others. Ram horns, tiger claws, cat ears.
Aww.
I swear, on my huntsman's license, I once saw a guy regrow his severed lizard tail. I swear, no amount of drinking can make you forget that pretty picture. As far as everyone's aware, Faunus have been around as long as mankind, if not a little longer. History gets a little fuzzy past a certain point. But we do know that their kind and ours are completely compatible from a biological standpoint.
Hey!
Take 2 wolf faunus, and you get a little wolf cub kiddo. A wolf faunus and a human also typically means your little bundle of joy's teething phase could get a little dicey. But if you take a wolf faunus and a bull faunus, for example, it's a complete roll of the dice. For all you know, you could be cleaning up your son's shedded snake skin. Scientists are still scratching their heads when it comes to, well, a lot about the Faunus. But science isn't the real problem.
Racism is.
Racism, yeah.
Or in this case, we don't.
Racism.
Early man was scared to death of
That's
the Faunus.
racist.
And honestly, it's not too hard to sympathize with that. Seeing something that looks like you and acts like you walk out of the forest and reveal a pair of fangs can be a little upsetting. Like
Don't be so
most
dramatic.
things man doesn't understand, all sorts of rumors and stories surround the Faunus. People avoided them like the plague, pushing them out of settlements and sometimes even hunting them down. Man began to outnumber the Faunus. And the Faunus began to consider man nothing more than a hostile species. Can't really blame them.
Nope.
These clashes between species were unavoidable, as land that was safe from the Grimm was in constant short supply.
On the dragon.
But it was the Grimm that finally brought humans and Faunus together for the first time. A village in Sanus fell under attack. The only reason anyone survived was because the humans and Faunus united against their common enemy. It was a step in the right direction, but it didn't fix everything. Once humanity learned they weren't so different from the Faunus, they still used those differences as an excuse to exploit and alienate them.
Yeah, that sure looks like a pharaoh headdress,
the
doesn't
Faunus
it?
differed around the world, and things wouldn't improve much for them until the Great War. Veil and Vacuo against Mantle and Mistral. A war unlike anyone had ever seen. And When it was over,
Finally
the world
talking
was
about it?
desperate to find compromises that would ensure they'd never see the likes of it again.
Wow.
Faunus were awarded equal rights as citizens of Remnant, and as an apology, they were given an entire continent of their own to do with as they pleased. There were some that saw
Australia.
this as fair and just, but many saw it for what it really was, a slap in the face from a nation of sore losers. And so Menagerie was born.
Ugh.
There's still Faunus all over the world, though the fair treatment they were promised varies in quality from place to place.
Separate but
Menagerie
equal.
will always be their safe haven. Here's the thing, though. You can only push and prod people so much before they reach a tipping point. And when you pack those people together, it just makes it all the easier for them to get organized. And get even.
I was gonna say.
Racism!
Holy cow, though. Info about the Great War.
Yeah!
Because they keep talking
We've
about
always
the Great-
assumed that the war was between human and faunus, especially since the only bit about it that we had was during the history class. I turned off autoplay. What are you doing? Stop that.
Cut it
Stop
out.
it. Stop it. Jeez. Yeah, the only bit of info that we had was
Binoculars.
Yeah, that. We've had zero information on the war aside from that, but the war was between two pairs of human kingdoms.
Yeah. And interesting who aligned with who. And I wonder what started it too, because we now only have the detail of who fought who. There's still nothing about the why.
I blame the Schnees. Honestly.
I mean, maybe.
Honestly, I'm just
Probably.
gonna straight up blame the Schnees.
I-
Until proven otherwise,
I'm just
they
seeing-
just seem to be, with the exception of Weiss, that entire legacy just seems to be a problem.
I'm just seeing a lot of World War, I mean, not to make comparisons to our world, but I'm seeing a lot of World War
II.
comparisons. World War I comparisons and World War II. Like, because I wonder if the other kingdoms kind of got dragged, like two kingdoms started feuding and the other two got dragged into it because of earlier treaties, which is what happened when the Archduke Ferdinand was assassinated at the beginning of World War I.
Who were the two and two? I'm trying to remember my Remnant history, but I know that the kingdom that had essentially been Paradise was pretty much taken over and mined to death by the
true.
Schnee Dust Corporation.
So yeah, that would have been Atlas and...
So if Atlas got into
Vacuo.
a war, they'd drag Vacuo with them.
I was gonna say, we should double
I
check
don't
that
think
those were the
two. Yeah, I'm not sure, but if that's what that was,
That
I would
makes
not be
complete
surprised if
sense.
that's the case.
But
Like,
again-
congrats, you're with me. Like,
But again, war, military might, a desire for resources. There are lots of things that could have started it.
I honestly thought it was a person versus faunus war, and instead it's a person versus
It
person
could
war.
be that
Damn.
Atlas, because Vale is such a great, like, altogether, Vale is really great when it comes to its natural barriers.
Yeah.
That might be something that Atlas coveted, because again, yeah, they have the military might, but it's also freaking cold. So
Atlas just wanted to rule the world.
maybe.
And I love that, again, like I said, I don't trust the Schnees, so I just put everything on them. That's probably not the case.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were many, many
But-
factors, but as it is, my going theory is Atlas wanted to rule the world.
Probably, but
Boom.
There are World War II parallels as well, with the creation of Menagerie to begin with. That kind of parallels the creation of other nations. We're not going to talk about, but yeah, for a specific group of
Seriously,
people,
they gave
it's
him
so-
Australia.
No, I'm thinking
it's
more of the
Australia.
creation of Israel.
Yes,
But
but given
yeah,
where
they're basically
it is
like
and the
here,
size.
go to
it's
Australia.
Australia. Yeah, given the position of Menagerie and its size relative to the other continents, it's absolutely Australia.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're gonna see it because Blake's on her way there right now. So I like that we get this little bit about the Faunus before we actually see Menagerie. Because, we've gotten nothing about the rules, like how the rules of being a Faunus work.
Because they don't know how the rules work.
No, they're just like... Not to
it
mention,
works.
the other
We're
bit
compatible.
that I really liked from this episode is Crow is certified for something. He has a license
He passed a test.
He carries her little card around in his wallet.
Or it's programmed into a scroll or something, but he passed
He
the
has
test.
a license. Good for
he's
him.
official. Holy shit.
Because I always just think of him as that, that's my
Drunkle.
drunken uncle. Yeah.
Drunkle Crow.
Drunkle Crow.
That's kind of where we all go. So it's like,
Oh, that's right. You're certified for something.
It's also like, that's why he drinks.
To forget the things that he's seen. Like a guy growing back his
If
lizard's
you see
tail.
something, say nothing and
drink to forget. Oh. I miss doing Silver Screams where we drink while we talk about stuff.
Hey, I have a show later tonight. I don't get to drink yet.
I know.
I have a box of Baileys that I can't touch yet because I have a show.
Later as a celebration. But for this, again, this was really interesting to unpack. And you can understand, like, again, the way he described it, you can understand where the animosity comes from. It comes from that very primitive way of thinking.
Primal fear of like, Jesus
of
Christ.
the animal with sharp teeth that's probably gonna eat you. That sort of thing.
Because you have the actual animal with sharp teeth, and then you have a human that also has men with pointy teeth.
Yeah, it's,
Mofield
it's
just upset me.
Yeah, it's easy to see how, like, earlier folk in Remnant could have misconstrued seeing a Faunus as seeing like a demon or something along those lines.
God, people are stupid.
They really are. They're dumb.
We're just dumb, guys. People are stupid.
Yeah. But it's also kind of nice to get a little bit of the like, oh, okay, there was a specific instance where humans and Faunus came together, and so there's this uneasy truce with a lot of, internalized racism still lingering, and a lot of internal prejudice still lingering, which is why things are the way they are now, which is, again, a very interesting thing to
We promised
kind
you
of
equal rights.
Ooh.
Now, do Faunus get paid 77 cents on the dollar, do you think?
The women ones do, probably.
God.
I just made myself sad.
Yeah. And people say this show isn't smart. This show that we're doing isn't smart.
I was gonna say this show or that
Ruby
show?
is. No, Ruby's a lot smarter than us.
Yeah. You're gonna have to specify.
Does this count as a show?
No.
We have no production values. This is not a show.
I think anything where you can see a cat hanging out in the background probably can't be considered
she's the
a
third
show.
host. She's color commentary.
Oh, yep. And
She's like, fine, I'm going to my trailer. God.
diva.
There she goes. She knew.
Yep.
She knew.
She's like, why do you hate cat people, guys?
Anyway, the commentary has gone on longer than the video.
In the video.
So we should wrap this up. We are still doing the RWBY show. It's at 7 p.m. every other Thursday. When this episode goes up, it will be the Thursday after this coming Thursday, because we will have just had an episode on December 1st. So, yeah, if you haven't already watched our after show on December 1st, go back and do that. We talk about things. It's great. And then our next episode.
Episode.
Welcome
to the next episode.
Because that technically counts as a show. That's an actual show. This, not so much. The next episode will be the third week in December. Technically, the third Thursday in December. Whether or not that count that as the third week of December.
December 1st, December 15th, and December...
No, that would be December 15th. You skipped the 8th.
No, that's what I'm saying. December 1st, December 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's every other week.
Yes. The 15th is the third. It's on the 15th.
Whatever.
We're saying
I'm
the
giving
same
you the actual
thing.
dates.
Yes, thank you.
Don't correct me when I'm right.
And I was counting Thursdays in December.
Yeah. It's the same same thing. Yes.
Maybe I should just break into the alcohol now.
And then, like I
made
said,
it.
I believe it's the 29th is the other one. Let's see.
If we're filming, if the studio's open.
The studio will be open. But
Okay.
yeah, we'll talk more about scheduling.
So yeah, the 15th. Stick around for that one. We will have another another after show. God, another reaction video up before then. It's been a day, you guys. It's been a week. It's been a month. It's been a fucking month.
It's been 2016 and it needs to end.
Yeah. we're
No more. No more.
Anyway, you can find me on the Twitters and most of the social medias at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin.
Follow our sister network Silver Screams at Silver_Screams on most of the social medias and Silver Screams on YouTube. We are currently on hiatus. We are going to be on hiatus probably until this is done. So hopefully soon, question mark.
Thank you for not spoiling us for anything. We
Yeah,
really
you
appreciate
guys are
it.
really good at that.
Really
I'm also
appreciate
wondering how much crossover audience we have between the reaction videos and the Silver Screams.
Not very many.
And that's why we cross-advertise.
Our Silver Screams videos get like 90 views. These get a lot. You guys are great.
A couple hundred. Occasionally we break 1,000. It's nice. We like you guys. We really like you guys. We are dragging. This channel has a Ko-fi. The link is in the description if you want to support us or if you just want to buy a toy for the cat. That is where you can do that. Yeah, I think we both also have Amazon wish lists if you so desire. We are not.
I do not.
You do not.
No.
I do. You should make one. We will link those again. It's up to you if you want to, but you are under absolutely no obligation. That's the word I'm looking for. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Seriously, we appreciate it. Thank you for commenting below. We like seeing all your commentary, and it occasionally gets very deep, and it occasionally gets very ridiculous, and we love both extremes. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.